What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fully Hydrated. It's myself, Rob Nakamura, with the High Chief, Zac Pauga, and we're going to break down as much as we can about everything going on in the combat sports realm because there's a lot of stuff. We've been blessed with so much activity. And this weekend, my brother was stacked from top to bottom, from end to end, days and days of combat. And I can't go any further without asking how you doing, man.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Let's pause it for 1 second, real quick. I'm just trying to make sure the live's coming up on X. It's
And I
not
see it.
showing. Oh, it's coming up for you. Okay.
Yeah, I
Maybe
see it.
my X is not working.
Well, let's put this on Elon. Elon, come on. Like, Mars is great. I'm not a fan of Mars, and I'm not a fan of self-driving stuff, and I'm not a fan of Hyperloop tunnels. But you know what I am a fan of? X, and we use it all the time. So, hey, Mr. Musk.
This is the real issue. Now we're spinning off. Haven't even started the show, and we're already spinning off wild. Obviously, guys, we're here on a Tuesday, not a Monday. Me and Rob both have lives. We have lives. Things happen sometimes, and we shift, and that's how it goes. I lock myself out of social media on very specific times, right? I leave it myself to have access to it on Monday nights so I can do this show. And when we switched it, I did not switch my app to lock myself out. So I'm locked out right now. So I'm trying to use my tablet. And it's just not working right now. Okay.
Parental guardian yourself. You just child locked yourself out of it. But no, that's good. And I think maybe that's another topic we should revisit in the future is like responsible social media usage. Yeah. But yes, here we go. We try to have a format here, even though we freestyle. And folks, this is not just about me and Zac talking. This is about getting your thoughts as well. Jump on in. Comment on X, comment on YouTube. We can see it. We'll bring it up, and we'll go from there. All right. First thing we always do. It's called the pump and dump. We're getting into this past weekend's shenanigans and activities. And what we do is we look at the most recent UFC event, being UFC Seattle. Anybody on this list can get some love, can get some admonishment. We give a little both, usually take turns. I don't decide what we do first, though. Mr. Pauga does. So, Zac, what are we doing? Pumping or dumping?
I'm dumping because I am so upset. I'm so upset about this fight from this weekend. About Tofik Musayev, right? Like,
I got a clip. We got a clip.
Play the. So you saw the clip, right? You saw that they talking about the cut. All that blood, right? That cut came from a headbutt. Cut came from an illegal headbutt. Before the headbutt, there was two like the worst cage grabs I've ever seen in MMA. They didn't stop it. They didn't take it. He said, "Don't grab the cage." Like this was the just closest to like cheating I've ever seen in an MMA fight. It was so bad, and we talk about all these different reasons why guys lose, right? It's hard to win UFC fights, guys. It's hard to win UFC fights. When you go out there and it changes your career, changes the entire trajectory, your pay scale, you get half your money, your next opponent, everything in your life changes when you lose a fight. And then to lose because your opponent is cheating is insane. This is like absolutely insane. Like you said, the blood is like all that blood, all that damage, everything they're talking about, that was all from an illegal strike. And then before they even got to that, hanging on the cage to not get taken down. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's rough, man. And this is the unofficial theme of the night. The deep cut of everything we're talking about is gonna somehow, in a lot of ways, revert back to how hard reffing is. How hard it is to be a ref. There's so much shit going on. I really think there's a point where we might want to start considering, like all the other major leagues, because the UFC keeps getting compared to them, so fuck, I'm going to do it myself, is there's a lot of times in other sports, a video referee to complement, to help the live action, because athletes are bigger, faster, stronger than ever, and fighting is fast. You have so many things to worry about as a ref. Maybe he couldn't, the angle. I'm not making up excuses. I could make up a lot of excuses. I don't know the exact situation, but we know the refs just don't let headbutts and stuff slide just for funsies. So something must have been going on there. Yeah, man. That,
and I'm not shitting on the ref. I'm not blaming the ref at all for this one. My dump is on Tafiq. And but to your point, like, I remember when baseball didn't want to go to digital reffing, right? And they were saying all this stuff like it's part of the game, it's part of this, like the umpires, what they see, how the ball slides. That argument doesn't exist in fighting. Like, I want use AI, use every single camera to make sure this dude's not grabbing the cage and he's not headbutting me in the face.
And arguably, since that time that MLB was one of the later big leagues to adopt technology, baseball's gotten better. Baseball's gotten better because of the adoption of technology, which in most cases does. So yeah, maybe help the guy out, the third guy in the mix that has to make lightning quick decisions just as fast as the fighters involved. But you're right. This is not about the refs per se. This is about the combatant who chose to grab the fence multiple times, knowing the rules. And I like the audio in there where Don was like, guys, like, calm down. Like, it's some blood. Right. Like, I know a lot of people don't like his commenting style, but I do. I really do. He's sometimes a wet blanket, but that's what's needed when people are overhyped. Like, reel it back in, and I love Dom for that.
They need to have Dom on there. DC can never be on there without Dom, because DC, and don't get me wrong, one of the greatest champions of all time. He just says stuff, though. He just says nonsense. And I'm like, and Dom is the only one that will call him out. Joe Rogan doesn't stop him, doesn't say anything. DC's just in there saying wild nonsense, and Dom's the only one that's like, it's going to be okay. They've seen the cut before. There's been a cut in MMA before.
Right. Love that. Love the balance there. It was a really good commentary team that they got when they're paired together. You're right. All right. For me, I don't have like a specific. Last week you broke the rules by going all dump, no pumps, and I'm gonna kind of break the rules with I don't have like a specific dump because I was so entertained. Maybe I got carried away. I got swept away like DC. The card was so good, so entertaining the whole time. The UFC finally matched. And so many other people commented on this. We'll get to the people's comments in just a second. It felt like the old days. It was just bangers. It felt violent. It felt fun. It was great. So I really don't have a big complaint. But since I try to follow the rules, I'm gonna add something I said on X just to bring some I don't know, some clarity to the situation, because the only fight that I could find some mud about, and it wasn't even the fight itself because the guys brought the shit, was the way people were perceiving it. And you know what? Just to jump on with you, it was a little bit the way DC was talking. I know he's a fighter. He's not a rule regulator, or ref, or anything like that. But he has a totally different POV as a commentator. But here we go. I mentioned UFC fans butthurt about the draw should read judging criteria, because your boy here has read judging criteria because I'm interested in maybe being a judge or ref down the line. Not the point, though. Quote from the book: a fighter is nearly finished multiple times or struggles to survive rather than competing equals a 10-8. I added another part of it. Under the current ABC Boxing Commission rules, judges are encouraged to use 10-8 scores more often than in the past, making them common for any round that is largely one-sided, not just for near finishes. Dude, if Yanez and Simone wasn't matching those words, I don't understand English then, because it was all of those things. It wasn't near finish, and even if it wasn't, he was struggling to survive, and makes a lot of sense. Like, I make the joke that Sal D'Amato is my uncle because he does wild things and I make wild choices too. and we also have opinions of things that a lot of people don't agree with. But him and the other judge, I think Mr. Cleary, I forget right now. But anyway, not the point. Nailed it. That was a 10-8 round. The last one was a 10-8 round. Now you can argue into the high heaven what you thought of the first round. I'm not here to debate that. But the people were like, "Oh, there's not no, that wasn't. If there is such a thing as a 10-8 round, that was it." And DC was like, "Oh, we're scoring knockdowns now, like boxing." No, brother. Read your sport. Read the own rules from your own sport, and that's what it is. So my dump is on not understanding the rules.
So we need to get a third host because we agree on too much stuff. This is my hot take. I want more draws. I want more draws in MMA. Like
yes.
these razor tight. Literally that exact fight happens so often. Guy almost finishes a guy, loses the other 2 rounds. That's a draw. That's a draw. Both guys move on, right? No one lost that fight. I want more draws in MMA.
Zach, this is why we're friends, because I went on a tirade a couple years ago and I still stand on it. There's technically 4, but there's 3 major areas of your professional record, right? Your wins, losses, draws, and then there's NCs that kind of floats on the side. But if you have 3 places to score stuff, use it. Why is this one so blank all the time? Like you said, like it's a subjective matter of judging. If it's close, let it be a draw. All right. I think enough of my ranting about this. Let's go on to the pumps.
Okay. Yeah. Go to the pumps. And this pump is to show my own integrity here. It's to show my own integrity. And because just to get the clip out there. But my pump is for Alexa. So yeah. And just for some of you that know, if you guys follow me closely, right? Macy is my teammate. Like, that sucked for me to watch. That absolutely sucked for me to watch. But I have to pump Alexa Grasso. Like, when you've had a trilogy with the current champ, you can basically guarantee you're not fighting for the title again until that champ loses that belt.
Yep.
But that's one way to get your name in the race, right? One way to get your name in the hat. Have the greatest finish of the year, like maybe in women's division of all time. So, and she just looked great. She just looked so good. Like I said, Macy's my friend and teammate. I'm watching that fight, and like 20 seconds in, I'm like, oh shit, like go on, and then that happens. So I can't do anything but respect a warrior that puts it out there like that.
Yes, because anything else would be disingenuous. And if you guys, like you said, you guys know Zach, you know this channel, we shoot it as straight as we could possibly see it. Yeah, that was polished. It was amazing. It was movie-esque. That was not quite there, but the fluidity of the attack was almost like Demetrius against Ray Borg, the whole body locking to pick up into armbar. Like, the sequence was so magical. Right. It was like Bruce Lee-esque smoothness. And yeah. And before that, she was getting stung and it was already looking like, oh crap. That's what
I said. I was like, early before the knockout, I'm just like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, this is gonna be uphill battle. Oh no, it's not. There's no more battle. Yeah. The battle's over. Yeah. And you know what? I'm happy on like a bigger spectrum, kind of happy for this fight. No, God bless Macy and her health, but more of the fact of like, guys, a lot of insecure weirdo guys, I'm pointing right at you, who dog women fighting and say it can't be entertaining, it's not violent enough. Bullshit. Like, there's plenty of good chick fights, and that one was it. And I'm so glad to see that kind of highlight reel get pushed through and maybe capture more attention and spark a new wave. Like, it's gonna be 15 years from now, you're gonna hear the next young female killer go, oh, I was watching the Grasso Barber fight and I just knew I had to be a fighter. I bet my whole life I'm gonna hear that.
I saw, random tangent, I saw this interview with Grasso after the fight, like a day after, talking about how she's single and that she won't get in a relationship unless the person is also a champion. Like she can't be with someone who hasn't been a world champion before, which is like cool, but maybe bring your standards down a little bit. maybe a little bit, or just be happy being single, I guess.
I just want to know, is it like structured to only fighting champion, or can you be a champion of anything, world champion? Because like that opens the dating pool and the mindset's the same. Yeah, we'll see. We'll get to ask Miss Grass when we get the chance, but that's funny. That's a good one. All right. My pump is with a guy that I'm not 100% sure that I can say his name correctly, but I don't care. Watch Leon Douglas, Juicy J. For one, like Arosa's so damn good to watch fight. Like his wins, his losses, it doesn't matter. He's pure entertainment, and he's a dog, and he doesn't quit. He fights literally. He's like the epitome of a whole bunch of cliches, such as go out on your shield, never be boring, like always ready to scrap. Like he's that guy. But welcome in new guy, which is part of the UFC formula. The UFC formula we talk about every week. I'm not going to stop talking about it because it's so damn obvious and it happens so much. It's, hey, here's this person that you like or know of, and here's this other person we kind of want you to know. And sometimes I don't like that, and I don't really like Juicy J getting beat up per se, but this is how it works, and it worked really good. What a performance. I was all into it. And honestly, dude, can I just throw this out there? This is just me picking one of many pumps. Honestly, if I did all the pumps, we couldn't do this show because it would just be another 35 minutes of me showing all the clips of all the fights. I want to just give a pump to the fucking card as a whole. We'll get to the people's opinions of this card in just a second, but I have to say this. People overhyped cards, or they underplayed cards, and nobody, go search of the internet, not a single person said UFC Seattle is going to be the best card of the year before this shit happened, because we just don't know until they fight. And damn, this fight card was good.
And we talked about matchmaking when we were talking about Freedom 250, and the matchmaking is what made this card so damn good. And I feel like it's because it was a fight night. Like, I don't know if it was Mick or Sean or who put this card together, or it's by the weight classes, right? So it's probably mainly Sean, but irrelevant. I feel like that we're in this weird zone now where there's less pressure on these fight night cards. There's not a whole lot of pressure, and the matchmakers are getting to do like their actual job. But on these big cards where Hunter takes over and he's doing all this and they're trying to put names on it, that's why we're getting these garbage cards that they're supposed to be these big ones.
Too many chefs in the kitchen. That's a great point, Zach. I did not really think about that stuff, but yeah, too many chefs in the kitchen. Sometimes, the food don't come out right. All right, we're going to jump into the second edition or second half of this, where we go into your guys' opinions, stuff you guys shared post-fight with us. And this is a time I'm going to reach out to you guys again. Drop your comments on X. Drop your comments on YouTube. This is us all talking about this together. So join in. All right. You rarely get to put a poll out on any social media platform and get a unanimous decision. It's like damn near impossible. Even if you just get 3 votes, you're going to have different. It's not going to be 100%. The power of UFC Seattle is this. 100% loved it. I don't know any fight card that has pulled that number before, but that's how fucking good it was. So shout out to everybody who participated.
I want to say one more thing. Before we jump on UFC Seattle, I know Izzy's been taking a lot of heat, right? He's been taking a lot of heat. People want to retire, blah blah blah, all that stuff. He was almost my pump. He was if Alexa Grasso didn't do so damn amazing, my pump was going to be Izzy, because he's choosing to fight entertaining, right? We all, or maybe you guys don't remember, he won like 7 title fights, leg kicking and moving around. He can do that. He knows how to do that. The dude is trying to make exciting fights, and it's not working out for him. But that's like what he's trying to do. And I respect it. I respect that he chose to like wade in the fire with Joe, and it didn't work for him. But that's what makes a banger card. You have that great card, and then you have a snoozer of Izzy just low kicking for 25 minutes and running around the cage. We kind of forget. It goes straight to mid. But because Izzy winning the fight goes, okay, let me stand in front of this dude, boom, gets finished. Or if you finish Pfeiffer, then we all love that card. That's how you get the 100% love it.
Good, great. It's fantastic point. 100% true. Agreed right there. Well, folks, once again, I'll be dropping these polls the minute the fights end every weekend. So this is where you'll get your comments to come up over here. I'm just going to rattle through them. We'll just see what the people have to say. All right, Danny saying, great card. Finally, some energy back. Yes, this is the UFC we love. This is the fight game, not just the ultimate defending championship callback to last week. All right. This card restored my faith in the UFC now. LOL. Shout out to Stephen J. We have Bodkins, brother Nick saying the card is exactly why we love MMA. I would put an asterisk on that and say that's why we love the UFC, because that's what we know they're capable of doing. So make it happen. M, props to Joe. Just kind of like what you said, right, Zach? Like, it takes two to tango. The main event, they had to bring the fire. Joe could have played it safe too. Rudy, it was pretty good. Not gonna lie. I'm glad you didn't lie, because none of us did, and it's all unanimous on this point. Thomas Mitchell, great card. 1,000 times better than last week's snooze fest. Could he be more correct? I don't think so. Baked MMA, best card of the year by far. I also second that. MMA Toasted, I thought it would suck, and I was completely wrong. I love the honesty. I still love the honesty. And Nicholas Basil, the fighters brought the ruckus. I loved it from start to finish, more or less. And he's saying like they brought the heat more or less, which, yeah, it was really awesome. There was only one fight that was kind of like but that was the Tyrell Fortune fight. But I'm not gonna dog that fight because Tybura took it with short notice, and I like Tybura, so I'm just being biased and making up shit as I want to go on. Plus, I like Mr. Fortune, so I just kind of gave it a personal pass. But yeah, man. Any last thoughts on UFC Seattle before we move to the next thing?
Nope. I already had to jump in there with my last thought.
All right, fair enough. Well, another piece that we like to do, which we're not a prediction show. We don't do that. Not really. Kind of. Just the main event. That's all we're gonna do. We're not gonna talk about nothing else. Not shit else for next week. There's 1,000 other shows that do that. Go visit them. God bless them all. But we and Zach are just going to talk about the main event, and you guys can drop your comments as well. So, Mr. Pauga, who you got for this coming main event?
Dude, I'm like, I don't know. I wish I had a strong opinion either way. Moicano's had been on a rough slide, but he's also been fighting really, really good people. Like losing to Islam and losing to Beneil Dariush is nothing to be like, oh, this guy sucks about. Right. And Chris Duncan's just unproven. Like, this is his test. And I'm going to go with Duncan because that's like who the UFC wants to win. But I have no reason. I have no like educated reason for saying that.
Fair enough. And yeah, we're definitely going to have to get more third parties than our guests to disagree with us, because I feel the same exact way. I have no strong pull in either direction, like a properly aligned car. But if you look at the script, UFC wants the younger product to go. Plus, you know, I'm gonna use my one exception to every rule. To everything in life, there's always a little exception. You guys hear me dog on the UK on a weekly basis. Don't worry. Later on in this podcast, I'll have my moment. And I know Scotland is part of the UK, but they're kind of like the rebel soul. Like, they're kind of not like the rest of them. So I don't have any regret pumping Mr. Duncan right here. Let's go, Chris Duncan, I think you can get over and do your thing. And it's not against Moicano. It's not even a fade. This is like a 51-49 confidence on this pick, by the way. So just throwing that out there. All right. So we'll get on to the next area of discussion, which now we're just going to go full blown into all the shit that happened this week in and outside of the cage, but we're going to tackle inside the cage or fighting surface, a variety. You'll understand what I'm saying, because there was so much. There was literally like 6-7 major events, not to mention all the regional stuff, which we don't even talk about the regional stuff. So here we go.
And we watch, me and Rob, the reason this show exists is because we like it all. Like this isn't just we like all combat sports, and that's kind of what we vibe on, and that's why we're going to try and talk about all of it.
There we go. And Mr. Pauga, proud alumni of Karate Combat. He's scrapped there a few times. Karate Combat went to Russia for their first ever Russian debut. I think that's a promotional debut in Russia, if I said it in a proper sentence. But whatever, it happened. If you kind of missed it, who gives a crap? It's on YouTube. So might be on YouTube right now watching us. So right when you're done, go over there and enjoy the fights, because it was good. I do have a clip that I want to share with you, and because honestly, the fights were really good, dude. Did you get to watch the card?
I watched the main event, and then I watched some of the replays. Gotcha. They had a heavyweight fight on it. The heavyweight fight was not great, but
fair enough. I respect it. All right, this is just a quick one, but it's awesome. The description on that post was the way the guy's head popped back like a Pez dispenser. I think at this point of time, you got to be of a certain age to even know what a Pez dispenser is at this point. I don't even see them around. But yeah, that was one of the many, many, many good strikes that happened on that. I'm just glad to see, I got to keep my personal feelings out of it, and I'm not going to talk drama because I want orgs to do good. So the fact that, like, I'm not political at all, but if we can use sports to like bridge the gap all over the world, bro, like love, like if they want to see our Karate Combat and they enjoy it, like go over there and do it. And maybe that's just another thing that we can find a common link about, so we can stop fighting bullshit. Just my random ass message about stuff. We can use violence to stop violence. See what I'm saying? All right. What's up?
Well, like no, you're totally right. And like, I'm happy to see Karate Combat kind of bouncing back and doing well, but like, this isn't like hot news or anything. Obviously, I was fighting with them all of last year. I knew about this Russia card, and I was like, guys, like, I don't want to go. Like, I'm not going to Russia. Like, what are we talking about here? And that's why I'm fighting with Dirty Boxing now. And that's just how it goes. But I'm happy. Everything went great. I'm happy that Karate Combat looks like they're doing well. Had a sweet card. Had some great finishes. And I hope everything with Russia in general and with Karate Combat just keeps growing and doing great as time goes on.
Hell yeah. It's a good things to everybody. All right. Now we're going to pivot onto the PFL scene. There was a pretty solid card. I have so many comments about this personally because I don't know why they decided to now try to line themselves up head to head against the UFC time-wise. It seems like a very stupid fucking thing to do, especially when UFC Seattle's dropping bombs like it was. Ain't nobody switching over for this shit, which was good, by the way. When I said this shit, yeah, I'm not dogging it. It's just like, come on, man. Like, and I don't know if that's ESPN being like, oh no,
so that's the time slot is ESPN. It's not the PFL saying please put us at the same time as the UFC. It's ESPN filling a time slot that they have.
Respect to that. And that, I don't know. I just already said my point. I don't think that's a great idea for anybody involved. But not the total point, because I want to share this clip because it was awesome. If you guys haven't seen Impaka Sanganai versus Dalton Rasta, This clip will kind of be good, but you want to see the whole minute 30-second fight that it was. It was freaking badass.
Impa with big punches. Landed an uppercut. He's got Impa on skates. Ain't one of his own. Oh, my hand. Impa face plant stops and right now. Impa Kasanganay.
You could hear that crack by Kasanganay. Folks, if you've never got to see Impa Kasanganay fight live action, I have a couple times. There's like people say cliche stuff like, oh, when he hits, you can hear it or it sounds different. No, Kasanganay is one of those guys. When you hear him hitting his opponent, you're like, shit, I kind of feel that. And you could hear that on his strike there. It obviously did the damage and rocked Dalton Russell to sleep. And yeah.
Dude, and guys, Impa is so good. He's so good. And he's like I say every single week, it's hard winning fights in the UFC. And just because you lose 1-2 UFC fights, like that doesn't mean you suck all of a sudden. And some guys figure it out later in life. Impa, since joining the PFL, he's a terror. Like he is an absolute monster in the PFL. We were both. He dropped down. We were both light heavyweights on the regional scene. He dropped down to go to the UFC, and then I moved up. But I've known of him for my entire career, and I was always respectful of his ability. But he's at a new level ever since joining the PFL, and like he's good. I watch every time he fights. I watch it.
Right on. And I want to just quick run through his story because I think it's amazing. And it's a story of not giving up, not quitting, believing in yourself. Obviously, everybody knows him as the B-side of like the 2022 highlight of the year, opposite. I'm blanking his name right now. Anyways, Joaquin Buckley, yeah, getting kicked to high heaven by Joaquin Buckley with a Taekwondo kick that I didn't think was real. My whole life I thought that technique was bullshit, by the way. But anyways, the point is, he entered the PFL not on any normal like pathway. He wasn't like, oh, you're a UFC guy that we're going to bring in. If you guys were or are PFL hardcore fans like I am, they had a little series called the Challenger Series. It wasn't quite like the Contender Series. It was the last spots available in the tournament. They had a 4-man fight. They would be like 4 guys would fight. So 2 fights of that weight class would happen on a night, and fans and the studio people would choose who gets to go in. And if they were tied on their like who gets to go in, Ray Seffel made the final call. It was a very interesting way to get in. Anyways, Kasanganay gets this offer to fight on the Challenger Series, squeaks in with, he wins, he kills the guy, but then squeaks into the season. Wasn't even really supposed to be there. Then that season, a bunch of guys get busted for steroids. So he gets elevated to not just showcase fights, but to in the tournament. Then he wins $1 million, and Brado was sleeping in his car. Guy went from sleeping in his car to like last chance, like Challenger Series into an opportunity, life-changing, and then goes on this beautiful run that Zach just mentioned. And the reason why I just said all that is because you never know what could happen. Don't quit on yourself. Keep pushing. And now I get to talk about what's all everybody talking about. Now, you've probably seen it on social media. I'm not going to say the guy's name because I don't want him to get in trouble. But when I tell you guys straight up, someone that's on their broadcast team and I had a conversation, and the PFL is 100% changing to Bellator, that's facts. And I don't know why they're doing this now. Like, if you're gonna acquire the brand and pivot on your name, then you should have did it while the brand was still hot. Like,
so yeah. So like this is wild. This is so wild. Someone, I promise you, right? These are billion-dollar organizations we're talking about. I promise you, when they bought PFL, I promise you they did an analysis. Which name will we keep? And at that time, that analysis said, stay with the PFL. And what's it been, 2 years or a year? Yeah. Like now they're like, 2 years. 2 years. And they go, nope, that was totally wrong. Change it to the back to Bellator. People know Bellator. Yes. Or like, I don't know if they're trying to get away from the tournament entirely. Because right now, you hear PFL, you think $1 million tournament, right? That's what I think at least. I don't know if they're just trying to completely get away from it.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, because they have pivoted from that. It's no longer the $1 million tournament. They lessened the prize, and then they got rid of it altogether. And then they had these regional brands that were still kind of doing a tournament, and it was very fucking confusing. I'm, again, maybe the only hardcore American PFL fan there is, and it's just hard for me to keep up with it. And I'm having to explain this shit to everybody and their mom every time a PFL card comes on. It's kind of tiring for me. So I just don't get why back to the Bellator brand. And I get it. Okay. I get it if he wants to, or the PFL wants to move on from itself and rebrand. Like, rebrand all the time. Rebrand whatever. Yeah. Rebrand works. Rebranding hella works. But to go backwards to a brand that already has a stigma amongst the fans, amongst the MMA community, of being a B league. It literally has a big B. It was already a lesser than product. You try to do the thing with the PFL, it didn't quite work, or whatever you're feeling inside. I don't 100% believe that. I don't know the numbers, but it's just weird. It's so weird, and just seems like another self-inflicted injury that PFL keeps stubbing its toe. Like, the fights are good. Some of the concepts are good. Their ability to attack new regions where the UFL isn't, and pack arenas all over the world where the UFC isn't, killing it. And then you do these awkward,
weird things.
Yes, that just like kills all momentum, and I just don't understand. Like, get out of your own fucking way, bro.
When, like, do they have any obviously IMPA, right? But like, what champions do they have left other than IMPA? Like,
their big stars, Dakota Decheva is that.
Does she have a belt though? Like when they go to Bellator, is she the Bellator champ, or is she gonna have to fight somebody for a new, like,
bro?
Is there a lineal Bellator title that she's gonna have to win or defend?
Okay, hold on to that thought, because you know who's in the mix for that, and it doesn't make no fucking sense. Is Chris Cyborg, because she was the Bellator champ. Then they got infused. Then she became the PFL champ, same weight division. And now if they go back to Bellator, does she does she bring the Bellator belt from her closet? Like how it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It doesn't. Yeah.
When, like, what to you? Let's say to you, not or fans or people watching. Like, let me know, what does Bellator mean to you? Like, what does Bellator mean to you? To me, as a fighter, like, Bellator was this weird show where they have guys like turning pro. They have guys 0-0 fighting who are making 500 and 500, and then they have guys fighting for $100,000 in the final. Like, it was this weird conglomeration of like you think fighter pay in the UFC is bad? It's maybe Bellator is a bigger share because they make less, but there's dudes making $600 to fight in the PFL in Bellator. Like, it's crazy to me. That's what Bellator is to me. I had a buddy there go, like, start his pro career there and go like 9-0 or 10-0 there. And then they didn't keep him when he went to the PFL. When they got bought by the PFL, they released him. He's fighting on local shows, not even the LFA. He fights on local shows because the UFC doesn't want him. The LFA, like, they're like, dude, you fought a bunch of beginners. Like, you haven't fought anybody.
Dude, I wish I had more answers, but I'm just going to generate more questions. You fought on the same card as Brian Battle at DBX, right?
No,
not the same event. My bad. Whoopsies. Well, anyways, Brian Battle fought the main event against Eblin, who I'm connecting to. He was the Bellator champ as well. He also crossed over to PFL. He doesn't have the belt right now because he lost it to Castillo Van Steenis, but he could be, because watch this shit.
Who looks really big considering he used to be a welterweight. Eblin crashing forward. There's the takedown.
Big takedown and right hands immediately from Eblin. In the fighter meetings told us, I know he's going to try to take me down. However many times he does, I'm just going to stand back up. Big slam there from pressure Johnny Eblin.
Watch the back of the head. Here, fighter. This is aggression from Johnny Eblin as well. He's not holding anything back. Must be strange for him to be fighting over 3 rounds.
I was about to say, he's so accustomed to those 5-rounders.
He's across the jaw. Oh, he's
First round submission for Johnny Edmund and a statement.
Man, that was like an elite level ass kicking. Brian Battle wasn't even competitive in that match at all. But I want to just give 2 shout outs to legends. While I was watching that fight, I kept thinking of 2 guys and 2 things. One, I haven't seen that many vicious slams since probably Matt Hughes, just consecutively slamming people around in the MMA cage. And then I thought to myself, when was the last time you heard somebody like dominate a fight with body lock? Like, I dominate a fight just from the body lock. That's normally like, oh, you won a decision by wall stall or something. That's like almost Dan Severn level body lock, pick you up, dump you on your head. Shout out to the legend. Like, that was so cool. And that was just a couple of slams. I think he slammed him like 5-6 times. Like, it was ridiculous.
So those slams were amazing. I want they've been getting shared everywhere. I've been seeing them everywhere, and I've got to say my piece about those slams. The reason they're so vicious is because Battle is trying to Granby roll out. He's giving him that like position, and he's trying to Granby roll out. And Eblen is good enough to not let that happen. And that's how you get that pile driver, right? It's so hard to just pick someone up and do that to them. They have to roll into it. The wild part is that Battle tried to do it five times. He kept trying to roll out of the slam and just getting driven straight into the mat. But like, it's like when DC flipped Josh Barnett, right? Everyone shares that highlight all the time, and they go crazy, and it's so insane. Josh Barnett was trying to roll on a leg lock, and DC knew how to defend it. But it's like we always say, it takes 2 to tango. Like it take 2 things for that to happen.
Exactly. Well, something that happens all the time is great fights at BKFC and bare knuckle fighting in general. I'm going to give some love to both organizations, BKB and BKFC, back to back. But I say it every week, and I'm glad these guys keep showing up and proving me right time and time again. You don't need to know their names, but both sides create these awesome ass highlights. I know I'm not trying to laugh at the guy, but the way he kept getting like tangled up in the ropes and just like bounced off the rope and then like pretended like he just keep going like it was a street fight was funny to me. We got two more quick clips of just awesome chaos. That was from the stands. I know that one went kind of quick. And another one.
Big mistake. He can't. That's it. That is it. Game, set, match, David Burke.
Slumped him like he was a heroin addict or something. Like, it was crazy. And I know like there's so much talk all the time by the community of like, what's the storyline or what does it mean? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm a weirdo, but just violence. Like, UFC Seattle was good because of violence. Like, violence is the story. Violence is the thing I'm here for. And God bless BKFC.
Well, and the storyline and the character, right? That's what will get the fighter paid. That's what will make the fighter individually get more fights and make more money. The big thing, and you know, shout out to Dirty Boxing and BKFC. It's the rule set. The rule set only allows for one thing, and that's violence. Like, there's no stall. You can't stall in either of these sports. And that's what we've kind of figured out people want, right? No one really cares what the most effective martial art is.
We figured it out.
It's wrestling, right? It's wrestling with jiu-jitsu. It's grappling, right?
Yeah, grappling is the superior.
We figured it out. We figured it out. Okay, now people just want to see slug. They just want to see people fight, right?
Yes.
And that's, you know what that is? That's short rounds, that's no grappling and just throw in small gloves or no gloves.
That's it. It's like exactly what you said. That puzzle has been solved. That part of the equation has solved itself, and now we're just back to like, let me see cool shit. I want to see violence. All right. I want to give some love to the BKB organization. They don't nearly get shouted out enough, fun with words, by people. So I'm doing it. They're just like BKFC. It's bare knuckle, same rule set. No, you don't got to guesswork anything about that. But what makes them special is they fight in the smallest combat surface in combat sports. It's a triangle. Folks, if you take more than 2 consecutive steps back without a pivot, you're probably screwing yourself. You're putting yourself in one of those corners. It's geometry, folks. Figure it out. It's awesome. But I want to give a little shout out to a friend of mine, Taylor Bull, who showed up, former BKFC guy, and got that uppercut was so like, maybe some people are like lucky, I don't know, but you'd send someone face first into the ground like that. I'm gonna run it one more time. That's what's up. So shout out to the brother from Canada getting it in there and doing his thing. Yeah, man, just we just want to support all the leagues, give everybody some time. But from bare knuckle boxing to the traditional, the grandfather of all these sports, boxing, the one we all borrow it from and still fans of to this day, because there was some major league stuff going on this weekend. Moses Italma versus, I forget the guy's first name, whatever, Franklin. Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman. Great cards as a whole. The Italma Franklin card, genuinely, it was called the Magnificent Seven. There's a bunch of other fights. Just tons of good fights, dude. Like a bunch of British bradas. I don't know any of their stories. I don't know any of the stuff going on, but they fought good. There's a lot of finishes. It was really, really, really entertaining. But there was one fight in particular that I wanna highlight just because, like, the circumstances in the fight. So I'm gonna paint the picture of what was happening. So Thompson and Paul is, and this is just because it's easier to describe this guy. Paul is the shorter white guy. Thompson is the taller black guy. And Thompson was whooping that ass 8 consecutive rounds, just outboxing the shit out of Mr. Paul. And then this happened. That was some movie type stuff, dude, because it wasn't even close. Like, from any measurement of the sport, it was like, oh, well, we'll just get, it was for a belt, so it was 12 rounds. It's like, dude, can we speed this one up? Like, the conclusion is set. There's no math that allows Mr. Paul to win here, and that's why fighting is great, because sometimes you say, screw math, I'm just gonna throw bombs, and we get that. It was really, really great.
And that's why fighting's the greatest. That's why this is the greatest sport, the greatest spectator sport that exists, because there's nothing else where you can be losing and in the last second of the game, match, whatever, boom, win, turn everything around. And boxing specifically, boxing can be rough with those 12-round title fights. But you gotta watch it, like, or we have to let it play. There's no like mercy rule. You don't get up 8 rounds and then they just call it. You got to box all 12 rounds, and that's why.
Yeah, there's no victory formation in boxing. Right? We don't just get to kneel it out and kill the clock. All right, so this is, if you were wondering, like, he's been really kind to the UK this episode. He hasn't said anything derogatory about them or hasn't pointed out how stupid they are at any point of this podcast. Has Rob lost his edge? Absolutely not yet. So during the broadcast, Mr. Franklin is like the headliner, like he's the B-side of this equation, and they do this whole like 3 to 5 minute promo of the upcoming this weekend Derek Chisora versus Deontay Wilder, which folks fucking be watching that if like you care at all about good fights. It's gonna be someone's gonna get knocked out. I can just tell you that much. Anyways, the point is they run this huge ass promo, and then the commentators turn to this digital board with like a poster on it, but it's obviously just like a screen, and it has Chisora versus Franklin again. So Brado's fighting tonight and tomorrow next week. Like, and here's some people who caught it on social media. So it's like, PJW, why the pundits on DAZN sat talking about Chisora versus Franklin next week when he's fighting Wilder on the same channel too? Talk about embarrassing. The commentary team had to turn around and they had to use the camera shooting them into the audience because behind them was such a gaffe, like such a ugly thing. Here's another person that caught it, so you know I'm not just making up shit. Chisora Franklin on the DAZN banners with a laughing face. I'm not making up crap. British intelligence strikes again. The UK absolutely sucks. All right. All right. Did you get to catch the Itama fight at all?
I did, and it was amazing, right? It was a good finish. He checked all the boxes, right? But people are like already trying to crown Itama. Like they're already saying he's all this, he's that, he's that. He had a good win. He's got a long way to go, right? And like, I don't know he's the first wave of the next crop of heavyweights. Like Usyk's not gonna fight him. He's not gonna fight Usyk. Like
no.
Like like he's gonna win whatever. When Usyk vacates, he's gonna win it, and then maybe Opataya will move up and they can get him out of his who knows. But like we're already trying to crown Itama and talking about he's the next big thing, which he might be, but I'm not there yet.
I'm gonna jump on. I'm gonna take it a little further. I'm going to point exactly who said some ridiculous stuff, and it's Ariel Helwani, who literally said that sentence. Crown him already. No, like this guy, like, let's watch the clip. Like, first off, let's give him his shine before I talk shit. Face first off an uppercut knockout. It happened very fast, happens right at the beginning of this clip. That was awesome. Not gonna lie, but the level still right. And let's be honest. Let me throw out some real stuff. Mr. Itama could be fighting Dubois for the eliminator that is gonna fight Usyk, but now it's the other guy, and I'm blanking his name. They're fighting each other. Wardley, Fabio Wardley and Dubois are fighting for the right to fight Usyk. Itama turned that down. So if the man himself is respectfully taking his journey in the sport, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not dogging it. Taking his steps in the journey of the sport. If he himself is clearly not crowning himself, who the hell is anybody else, especially water bottle ass fucking Ariel Helwani? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get that kind of stuff. But anyways, good for Itama, good for boxing. It was a good stuff. Any thoughts before I move on to the Thurman fight?
No, just kind of talking about the Deontay Wilder. I'm a huge box fan. Talked about this a million times, but I like that we're kind of getting away from the you need to be undefeated thing. Like the guys are headlining fights that have 2-3 losses that are still amazing. I'm going to watch that Deontay Wilder fight. It's going to be awesome. And I don't care that both these guys have like 4 or 5 losses. And I'm happy that we're getting to there with boxing finally.
Amen to that. Because that's a ridiculous standard. The Mayweather effect did dampen boxing for a long time. But it's going to be another generation or two before we get another TBE. Like, I'm so glad that standard is going away for sure. All right. This fight, Sebastian Fundora versus Keith Thurman, I kind of knew it was going to go this way, but let's watch it.
He's not having the success.
Yeah, he's not liking getting hit, so he's trying to get away from those punches, but it's too hard.
Lit up like the Sin City strip by Fundora.
I'd be shocked if Thurman
Have you
makes it
ever
out of
seen
this round.
Thurman's face look like that?
Never. And that's something he said in the fighter meetings this week. When have I ever looked bad? When have I ever showed this type of damage?
Saturday, March 28th, 2020.
No more, buddy.
All right. Now, there is a little bit of chatter. Some people going, that was a soft-ass stoppage. What is this, the UK? See, I did it again. But that's not the full picture right there. What we just saw was one round of many rounds like this. So I have another clip from earlier in the fight. But Keith was not landing effective offense and was eating shots literally from the first round. Here we go. Some more context here.
The man to beat at 154. Unloading on Thurman. Thurman desperately trying to avoid the attack.
So just like in MMA, when you're not intelligently defending yourself, if you're not showing any true boxing acumen or a way out to win the fight, boxing refs can call the fight too. And from the previous clip that we shared, not just this last one, but the one before that, like Keith was eating a lot. He was using his footwork, but that's not enough. Dude was eating a cumulative amount of strikes, a lot of them. And the point I'm trying to get to now is in this clip, the post-fight interview with Keith Thurman himself. And I want to get some opinions on, where we land on his opinion. Here we go.
On that stage, once again, Fundora's a tremendous champion. But whoever the fuck that referee was, don't hire him for fucking main event shit ever again, man. Real talk. Do you remember Eric Morales versus Marcos Maidana? Do you remember how many times people fought with broken orbital bones? Shit's not even broken, man. Never got dropped in the whole fight. I'm getting caught on the back end of punches. The referee told me in the locker room, show me something. Move your feet, duck your head. I won't stop the fight. I'm using my legs. I'm getting caught on the back end. I wasn't buckled. He just jumped in like a white rabbit, man.
Now, this is where we get the difference of opinion between fighter point of view. He's the one eating the punches, so I got to take some of his opinion, for stock. But I also watched the fight, the whole damn thing. And I love you, Keith, but you were not effective at any point the whole damn time. And yeah, this is where we get into like critiquing the ref, and it's like, I don't know, man. I got lots of different ways to think about it. Zach, what are you thinking?
So I don't like the standing stoppage. And it's very common in boxing. I don't like it, and they can't do standing 8 counts, right? There's no standing 8 count. If you stay on your feet and you're getting whooped, they have to stop it. And I hate that. Let the guy go down. That's my opinion. However, these refs are human beings. They're human beings. There's like, I don't know if people know this, especially if you're an MMA fan. There's like 3 or 4 people that die every year in boxing in the ring. Yeah. They die in the ring because you're just taking these head trauma, and not going down, and you die. And there's that ref, right? That guy has kids, or I'm sure he's got family members. I'm assuming he has kids. He does not want to let Keith Thurman die in his ring. And so, yes, Thurman, you can say, I'll die in there. I'll die to win. Then fight better, dude. Then move your head. Like that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I don't love the stoppage either, but I don't hold it against that ref in any way.
Yeah, and that's where I say that's why we have refs. Because if we just let the fighters decide all the time, you guys are warriors. You guys are not. You guys are also in the heat of battle. If anybody's been in any kind of fight, your brain processing of the situation trims down to the very, very narrow focus of live or die in this fucking combat. There's no real intellectual third person perspective going on in the moment. So I think the ref did the right thing considering how long Keith was getting touched without good offense back, or there was it didn't look any kind of probable way that Keith was going to be winning, and it was just getting worse too. So he was getting schooled, and the blows were getting harder and more frequent as time was going on. So yeah, I love the warrior spirit, but I also kind of side with the ref. I do agree with you. Like, I'm not a fan of that early, like, stopping on the feet, but boxing is a different animal. It's dangerous in its own different, way and respect to it. So hell yeah, definitely cool. Awesome to that. All right, well, shit. We're near the end of the rodeo, but we got a little bit of drama I want to share. I know we're running just a tad bit long, but who cares? Thank you guys for sticking with us. Drop your comments if you want. The UFC and some roster cuts. Because shit happens. Shout out to Guilherme Cruz for dropping this. Antonio Tricoli, Bruno Brazil, Luana Carolina have been removed from the UFC roster. Sources told me. He's a pretty solid source. He's not one of these wannabe ass reporters on X, these volunteer MMA media fools that I hate so much, that everybody should hate so much. Stop spreading volunteer MMA media guys content, please, folks. That's my own rant there. Support guys who are actually in the grind, in the scene, doing things. And yeah, that's the UFC trimming some fat. I don't like people losing their jobs, but if there's anybody on that list that I'm like, yeah, Chicoli, man, like I've had enough of watching him fight for sure. Like,
well, I'm just gonna get on my soapbox every single time. Like, UFC's best organization in the world. People are gonna get cut. It sucks, right? It sucks. I just wish that there was some rhyme or reason. Like why do some guys? We got Cody Brundage just fighting this weekend or next weekend, I think. Like, why are some guys 0-11 still fighting in the UFC? Some other guys are getting cut after their second loss, right? Just gonna have to get on my soapbox every single time.
Go for it. Well deserved. No, yeah,
I probably lose twice, and then they kick me out, But
yeah, and that's nobody likes favoritism in the workplace. Everybody's worked somewhere. Everybody's experienced favoritism. It's great when you're the one getting the love, but it totally fucking sucks when you're not. And yes, a criteria of some sort would be nice, so we know where to go with it, how to feel about it beforehand, so it makes sense and all of that. Well, there's a second part to this, because it's read the headline underneath. I guess bottom line is a whatever. UFC roster and one championship struggles. Well, if you haven't been paying attention, one championship's been cutting like out. They've already lost a lot of the people with name recognition. They've already given up a lot of them. But the last of those people, former champions, people you could actually have a conversation with casual MMA fans, they're getting rid of them too. It's getting kind of weird. And then those same people are getting matched up with free agents that they probably should have signed. What am I talking about? Them letting go of Morales, and then Morales fighting Mokaev, which is a fight that one championship probably should have made. They didn't. Now it's happening with MVP. But that's not even my point. My point is, I'm going to go back to something. This is like a reopened wound. I had this wound last year. If you guys watch our pre-recorded podcast or know me back for any period of time, this thing that I'm about to share hurt my feelings. Because I had plans to go to Colorado, meet up with Zach. We're going to have a great old time. Knew some other people that was going to be on the card. One championship was going to Colorado. It was going to be great. They broke my heart. Canceled the event 2 months in advance because Stamp Fairtex got hurt. Well, guess what? It was supposed to happen again this year, 2026. I got my hopes up again, being like, hell yeah, let's do this, bro. Let's run this back. And then one championship has shit on my dreams once again. And now I'm pissed. And I want to bring up a point Zach made about it before. Folks, if you don't know how this works when you're putting on events like this, especially in a big ass arena like the one just mentioned, that's the home of the Denver Nuggets and shit. There's a thing called a site fee, and it's expensive. Zach, I'm passing the ball to you, man. I'm so sad about this. Yeah. I don't know where to go.
So everyone, right? Everyone wants to put stuff at Ball Arena, right? Everyone wants to put stuff in Hawaii. Like, people, those are places that people want to host events. So what the state does, they make you pay them to host an event there, right? You don't just get it for free or pay it off the top. You have to pay a fee up front to host an event there. And then the last one that was the last year, it was supposed to, they were expecting it to be a big show because Stamp was on it and all this stuff. And when they lost Stamp, they knew they weren't going to make their money back. They just said, "No, we're going to cut it. We're not even going to come." And they just move it to Thailand because they're not in Lumpini. They're in the other stadium. The stadium that they're doing is ran and owned by the government. Like, and the government, the military, is now having one run the stadium. So they don't have to pay to run their shows in Thailand, right? For those, if you've been watching one for a long time, remember they used to be in Singapore? There's a Singapore-based company. They don't do shows in Singapore anymore either because it costs money, right? Thailand is the only place that they can do it for free. And I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it if the Japanese card falls through and doesn't end up happening. I'm going to lose it.
Oh, the amount of shit I'm going to talk on my timeline is going to be toxic as hell if that happens. But it's, folks, to package it up in a more simpler term, everybody's kind of heard of like, oh, the UFC, when they go to Australia, they get given money. It's the direct opposite thing. One championship lost money to go there and cancel a fight. It's really, and then we get into like them losing fighters, having contract disputes and all this other shit. Dude, it's almost like watching like somebody who's bad with money who then spends more money. And then you're like, oh, no wonder you can't do the cool shit anymore because you're just losing money in really dumb ways.
Well, this is what I truly can't understand. As a fan, right? As the fan that I am, small glove Muay Thai is the coolest shit on the planet. It's the coolest thing that exists. So they've created the best thing out there. And I just don't know why they can't make money other than that, you know, their Chacha's pinching a little off the top for himself, right? He's putting a little bit aside as it comes through.
Dude, this is gonna need a study when the House of Cards comes tumbling down. I'm sure I'm gonna watch it, the Netflix documentary on it, and I can't wait. All right, so enough of the drama. We have to sprinkle a little bit of drama because we have to. But now we're towards the end, and we're gonna do some closing thoughts. But man, we talked about a lot of things. I got a little bit of love to give before we close up shop. But any thoughts or any areas we went left or right on that you want to touch on before we get going here?
Not specifically, just that I hope one does well, right? I hope they do well.
Yes.
I hope they make $1 million, but it's not looking good right now.
Yes, and I echo that point. I want as many options for fighters for there to be on the planet. The more bidders for services, the better it'll be for everybody. I want it to do good. That's why I'm mad at them for doing dumb shit. All right. So something that's cool, and I'm maybe a little biased, but shout out Kaiboy Kamaka coming back to the UFC after being away, being on the grind, taking his services on tour, getting dubs and all over the place. He's getting his second stint in the UFC, hardworking and deserved so. And a lot of times we know how it goes. The second rodeo in the UFC for a lot of fighters turns out to be much better than the first time. So I hope that's the case. So we had some cuts. Then we got another edition. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really happy for it. So let's go, Kai. Looking forward to it.
And just so you guys know, what Kai did is the hardest thing to do. Obviously, we both support him. He's a wine guy. I fought on a few cards with him. He's a good dude. But fighting your way back into the UFC hates to admit that they were wrong, right? Look at all this. The one I can think of specifically is Max Roshkov. I think Roshkov. UFC cut him after one fight. He's at like 10-0, 10 finishes on the regional scene. They won't bring him back because they hate to admit that they're wrong. They hate to say, "Oh, we cut you, but you should be here." They don't like to do that. And regional MMA sucks, guys. Regional, they don't pay you anything. That's why I'm fighting karate, fighting dirty boxing, doing these other things because I don't want to do what Kai did. I don't want to go fight for $2,000 and hard fights because everyone's trying to make their name off of you and win 5 or 6 like he did and fight his way back into the UFC. It's such an achievement what Kai has already done, and then now he can run in the UFC and make some money and do everything for himself.
Yeah, and I want to echo that point what you just said. As a former UFC talent, going back to the regional scene super sucks.
There's no easy fights.
They're feeding you the gym's next best things at you, or you're fighting another UFC killer that's just
for $2,000.
Yeah, like it is not it. So definitely, once again, shout out Kai. Looking forward to seeing you fight. And well, there it is. It's been a good time. We'll see you next time. But in the meantime, stay fully hydrated. All right.